Hello there. Good morning and welcome to my little arty corner of the internet. Hope you're doing well, hope you're fine, and I hope you're being creative in some kind of way. Today is the 20th of October. Can't believe two-thirds of the way through October really. Time just seems to be flying. And as it's a Wednesday, that means that it's time for a template for the colouring book group for tomorrow. I'm not going to draw it all today because I've got to turn my attention to contracts, adorable dogs in particular. But I'm going to make a start because it's becoming my traditional thing to do on a Wednesday is Template Thursday on a Wednesday. For as long as I'm doing templates every week, there will come a time when it goes back to once a month, I'm sure. But I'm sure that'll be when the world settles down a bit more after COVID and hopefully is a bit less stressful. We shall see though. So I've got in front of me here, you can see, is a piece of A4 paper. It's a dot grid paper. It's a new brand to me and the dots are a bit darker than I'd like, but I'm sure that computer editing will remove them. And I'm using some pens that I haven't used for a number of years, and I am going to sneeze, excuse me if I do. They're called otographic pens, and they're actually rollerball fine liners, as it were. And the ink is great, and I've had trouble with them in the past, but I thought I'd give them a go again because I wreck things like Sakura Pigma, Microns and Unipin pens from Uniball like nobody's business when they got a fibre tip. So I'm going to try. So I've just started because I started drawing without thinking about anything here. And goodness knows what's going to appear because I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do, except that I thought, oh my gosh, I've completely miscounted. I was going to do smaller squares than that. But no matter. Yeah, it's one of them days, isn't it? So let me have a look because I am going to put a tangle pattern here. We've had really heavy rain at times overnight and this morning. I've been up since stupid o'clock because it's Wednesday and Wednesday is my Able and Cold delivery day. And they still haven't been, and it's now 8:15, and as I usually have, I have goodies in my delivery box for breakfast on a Wednesday and for a Thursday. They haven't arrived, so I had to have something else because I was absolutely hungry and couldn't wait any longer. And I don't know whether they'll actually get here because there's a lot of noise and kerfuffle outside this morning. And that seems to be from, I say seems to be, it's not. The water board is outside Dŵr Cymru. And there seems to be a lot going on the main hill at the end of me with diversions and goodness knows what. I know they were around and about here yesterday listening to roads and things because they checked for water flow and sewage flow and stuff with their listening sticks. A bit like a giant version of a doctor's stethoscope really. They're listening for the heartbeat of the water system. So I have got no idea what they're doing. I just stuck my head out the door to see if I'd missed the delivery, and I haven't. So there could be a bit of mayhem around. And of course with the high winds there may have been problems on the roads. But that's no problem at all, you know. I know it'll turn up. And, well, this is actually a pretty pattern. I really like that. That's really cute. I had no idea what I was going to create. No idea in my head. Well, obviously my head has some kind of idea. So I think this is going to be a bit of an entangled kind of drawing with a fair amount of Zentangly type patterns, which is fine. It's just about what I'd expect from me at the moment because I am doing the Tangle Challenge for Inktober, which, you know, I'll show you this week's lot on Saturday because Saturdays is my look over my look back over my arty week through sketchbooks and other things. It's not the only thing I've been doing. I've been doing some other very abstract drawings in my entangled style, which isn't the highly, the more detailed and intricate style that I have for my personal artwork that isn't meant for being coloured in. And I'm really enjoying doing that. The Inktober challenge has led me to consider a few more, or at least one more sort of like adaptation to how I work, or one more tool in my toolkit, because I've been doing one sketchbook page a day for each tangle in an A5 sketchbook, so it's half the size of this. Sometimes I end up on 2 pages if the tangle is particularly lends itself to variations. Fortunately, today's sort of lends itself to variations, but they're sort of like relatively minor in some ways, because the tangle is what it is. It's oysteroid. So I won't explain because I'll lose the plot here. So it was a relatively quick page for me to do and to work with. It's a lovely, lovely tangle. I may include some here because I really do like it. And as the name suggests, it does remind me of oyster shells in the way that you get the almost like the little stepped shapes, repeating shapes that step down and out, except I had to play with that. The shadow and highlight and volume and depth and height in my drawings are kind of my kind of thing. Yeah, I definitely haven't had enough tea yet today. Not enough sleep overnight again. But it'll be fine. All will be well. I just need to get some sketches done for review. And then tomorrow I can finish this off and ink the sketches, well, at least one of the sketches in, for the Adorable Dogs book. Which will be lovely. Sneak a little flowery thing in there, which is quite cute. Of course, this may have a tendency to become something entirely different by the time I get to whatever it is that I am going to do here, because I do have to feel the need for some October-y, Halloween-y kinds of imagery, but we'll see. This is quite fun. Okay, that is no 3, so if I take an 01, these are absolutely, they are nice and they are actually working well. I've always, in the past, I've had trouble with them leaking, but I don't know whether that was how I drew with them or whether it was just the size I was using or the paper. I don't know. And my heavy-handedness may have been an issue. Very noisy outside. There's lots of beeps and clatters and bangs. I know it's going to be essential work. And water, both waste and potable. Drinking water, clean water is essential, so I don't have a problem with it. They won't go on into the night or anything. Only then I have to worry about fireworks, really, because it's that time of year where fireworks seem to be set off so much. We're coming up to both Halloween, obviously, and there's also, in the UK, we have bonfire night, which I have mentioned before. So if you're not aware, it's sort of like it's a celebration of the foiling of Guy Fawkes and his mates plan to bomb up the House of Lords, which is one of the houses of our parliament. In America you've got the Senate and what's the other one? House of Representatives, isn't it? The Senate and the House. And over here we've got the House of Commons, which is the elected MPs, and the House of Lords, which are ones that are appointed to sit there. And they're kind of a check on the bills, the laws that are passed in the House of Commons. So before anything can be put into law, it has to go to the House of Lords for approval and assent. And they can send it back approved if they wish, or they can send it back with amendments that they feel are necessary and need to be made in order for the law to be a good and sensible one, I suppose. Although sensible isn't always the right kind of thing. And there can be a lot of toing and froing sometimes with the bills. This is a very strange kind of drawing, and I don't know why. Guess it's just my mood. Let's just pop some lines in here just to break that up. I don't know what I'm doing, and it will work itself out. They always do. Because so anyway, so Guy Fawkes and his mates had this plan. I can't remember what year. It's quite a long time ago, and it was foiled. And they were all, Guy Fawkes certainly was tried and found guilty of treason and was executed as a result. And it became a tradition for people to burn effigies of Guy Fawkes on the 5th of November or close to there, sort of like as a weird kind of celebration that the House of Lords wasn't blown up. And that continues to this day, although the origins of it are lost in many ways, because instead of being called Guy Fawkes Night, it's now just called Bonfire Night. And there's a lot of fireworks go on displays, and people are able to buy them. And we do have laws in the UK about when it is legal to set off fireworks outside of an organised display. I think organised displays have to apply for licences to occur. And that's because of the nuisance value of fireworks and the distress it causes to people with like PTSD and anxiety and lots of reasons, but also to animals. But of course it's now impossible to enforce because so many people flout it, and so for a number of weeks around this time of year, there's loud noises and bangs constantly, and some of them are so loud they rattle windows in my house, and they freak me out because I don't like loud noises. It startles me and so on. Said that, I love fireworks. I love to see them. But I really don't understand why they have to be so loud. That's just me. Although having said that, there's one supermarket chain in the UK called Sainsbury's who has refused to sell fireworks. I think they did this last year. They're not selling fireworks. They've got no intention of selling them for this reason. And then another firework chain, supermarket chain Asda, which is owned now by Walmart, they're selling silent fireworks, which is brilliant. Sort of like if you're going to have loud, noisy ones, I think they should be in an organised display. But we'll see. Perhaps consumer pressure will cause a change to a degree in the law. I don't know. But I know I've signed petitions yet again this year about it because, poor pets. And not just pets, but wildlife as well. And then the rubbish that you get strewn around the environment from the casings of these. And the days afterwards, the way the fog and mist hangs in the air. You can smell it on the air as well. Lots of nitrous oxides produced in a short space of time, which are the chemicals from car engines that cause a lot of problems with smog and pollution and are damaging to lungs. I'm a scientist as well. It's true. I really am. And environmental pollution science was my major subject in university, along with chemistry. And that was back in the early 80s, and we were talking about climate change and the how something needed to be done even then, because the signs were there, and it's been talked about a lot longer than people think. I think the earliest time was back in the 1800s, if I remember rightly. So irreparable damage to the environment on the only planet we can actually live on, that we know of, or that is accessible to us. As much as all the millionaires are going into space, yeah, okay, you can go into space and see it, but there's nowhere up there for you to live. There we are. Crazy world we live in. That's very tiny shapes. I've got to remember this is for a colouring template. They'll be fine. They're always fine. It always works out just fine and well. That's my experience. No matter what, things work out well. How am I going to fill this in here? Or what am I going to do here? Just round that out a bit more. And let's stuff a pumpkin in there, because I can. Because pumpkins are dead cute. They are. There's one there. That'll do nicely, I think. Got to have a pumpkin or two. My head went to, the song from Oliver, got to pick a pocket or two, except my head went, got to pick a pumpkin or two. There is absolutely no hope today for me. But it's fine. Let's do a taller, thinner one. Just the hint of autumn and Halloween here, because I'll perhaps work on getting a more of a Halloweeny one done for next week. But next week's a bit close to Halloween, but many people I'd be quite happy, I think, if it was Halloween all year round. Not with the trick-or-treat and things, but, with all the decorations and the accoutrement of the time, because I like it. Lots. Put some shadows in there, just to help. And then I think, what do I think? I think I might need I definitely have not drawn enough skulls recently, that's got to be said. Okie dokes, let's just pop that one down. There we are. I think it's going to be a rather confused looking one. Possibly. Skulls are fun. I think I might need a party hat skull, because I can. It's poking up. It's got a very strange shaped head, but it'll do. There we go. Perhaps it's the weight of his party hat. Oh, let me think about that, because I need to think what I'm going to put on the top of his hat. I've got a friend who describes them as drunken party hat skulls. Yeah. Well, you've got to have some drunken party hat skulls from time to time, haven't you? Anybody listening to me, you must all think I'm completely stark raving bonkers. And the chances are that I'd absolutely agree with you in many instances. The tall and thin one. I'm going to have to adjust this one, I think, digitally. There's a gap between them. This one I'm going to have to erase that line because he's going to have a hat on as well. And that's what digital editing does. Ooh. Oh, I know. Give one a star. The other one can have a moon. And that'll be fun. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to put there. I'll come back to that. It may just fill itself up quite happily. So we've got some nicely drunken skulls there. And I think just to finish it off, just to keep this one upright, I think I need a chunky mushroom. And, ooh, what pattern should we put on it? We'll just put some spots in a ring and put some gills in underneath. And some of these here, little spots. There we go. There's not a lot been going on in my life really, other than a lot of artwork. I wasn't very well for a number of days last week, and that really took its toll on me. Really upset stomach for a couple of days, and I just felt off for a number of days afterwards, and absolutely exhausted and drained too. I'm feeling a lot better, but I'm still tired because I just haven't been sleeping well. It's been warmer at night, and I'm getting female things, you know, the night sweats, I suppose. I wake up overly hot all too easily, and it's not nice, and it can throw me out for the day. There's a couple of times I've had to go back to bed and I've slept for hours, just out of sheer exhaustion, I think. That's fun. Okie dokes. That's fun, and I think as it's fun, let's defy gravity-ish and have some pumpkins. Not pumpkins, these aren't pumpkins. What am I talking about? Some mushrooms growing out of these at strange angles. They're quite nice because it's a nice way to and who doesn't love mushrooms? I'm sure there is somebody who will say, well, actually I don't, and I'd prefer if you didn't draw them. Well, I get to draw what I like. This is one of the reasons I love doing colouring templates for the Facebook group. Partly it's because it's a thank you for them supporting, you know, the books that I have published and so on. But it's also, it's just a nice thing to be able to do for people. You know, at the moment there's only 2 books a year come out from Creative Haven. from Dover. So there's a long time in between for a book. Though I really do need, you know, I did self-publish Doodle Worlds a few years ago, and perhaps it's time for me to do a second Doodle Worlds book, or a mandala book, or perhaps some other book. Entangled. You know, people are often asking for entangled, or even insanely intricate entangled, which actually would be quite difficult for me to do now because I'm so used to drawing on a much bigger scale. And said that, all it takes is a finer nibbed pen, it has to be said. I actually think these dots will actually, do you know, I've just worked out what I'm going to do with this particular party hat. I'm going to give it black and white stripes because I can. Saves the editing, and it was bugging me. That's much better. The other one can do the same on that one because I can. That's okay. That works out. All right then, so I've got these here, so what can I do here? So I have a bunch of tentacles, I think. Now these I won't do with black stripes, though when I come to colour in my sample, which I'll have to do tomorrow, unless I get more done this evening and get this done tonight, or after I've got the sketches for Adorable Dogs done. Then I'll be able to add colour quite easily. So I'm going to have a clutch. Can't call a pile of tentacles a clutch of tentacles, really, can you? They're not going to clutch onto anything, but that'll be all right because they'll actually go and hide behind one another. And just to make it easy for people to work out which is which, let's get some stripes, stagger the stripes where they are next door to each other. Because that makes life interesting. And I'm going to have another one here. Not so wavy, it's a lazy tentacle. Always exhausted itself from flapping around and coiling and twirling. Or perhaps there's a reason for it being long and straight. Have I got things hanging off it? I don't know yet. It's a possibility. Could just be stretching out because it's been coiled up for too long. How do I know? I don't. Anything is possible. So the Chunkamunka one. Chunky monkeys are great fun. Why is it so bulbous at one end? Well, because it is. It says that spooky tentacles all have to be the same. I'm so tempted to put different expressions on them. But I'm not going to. I'm going to behave. And then I'm going to have another one that loops around and back and hides behind this one. Because I can. So that's all good fun. And I do think I need things caught up here, so think I have the urge. I have an urge to do a skull here. Just wedged in a bit. And what else could I put? I want to put another pumpkin. Perhaps another skull. All topsy-turvy, and let's have a look. I just realised it'd been so much easier just to turn the paper the other way up, wouldn't it? But you know, welcome to my weird and wonderful world and way of drawing. This'll do. That's all I'm saying. Well, boneheads. Total and complete and utter boneheads. I think so. And that's fine, I can live with that. Okie dokes, let's have a look over here. Put something in the middle there just to make them look like something. And oh yes, I think I know what I'd like here. I should say, can you guess what it is? Strange kinds of bottle, which is fine by me. So I now need to put some contents in it. It's a bit of a wobbly bottle, but wobbly bottles are fine. So here we go. So you pop in there what you like, but it's going to have a bone on the front. Bone? Yeah, let's do a bone. And I need a stopper then for it, because stoppers are fun. Potion bottles are great fun to draw because you can really do anything you like with them. This one's going to have a little top there, and then sticking out the ends. Bit 2 is going to have a bone on it because there's some kind of bone juice or some other in there, I'm sure. Okie dokes, next bottle or jar. Jar? Let's have a jar. Yeah. I'll do. Well, I made it quite symmetrical, but I'm sure you'll forgive me. There we go. And in this, we again need a little label on it. Nice. And what can I put in this one? Go fill that with what you wish. And on here I'm going to put in highball. You should have drawn that with a finer pen, but it'll do. It'll do. There we go. And, another one, I think. Let's have a look. Ooh, that's quite coffin shaped, really. I'm going to colour that in black there because it's such a tiny space. Where there are tiny spaces, I often do that. Yeah, coffin shaped bottle. Who'd have thought it? And what's more, let's give it some squarish shaped one, and it's the bottle itself, so I can now pop in perhaps the contents and where the glass is. Possibly. I'm not sure that works, but it's okay. I'm sure people will. I'm going to edit that one. That hasn't worked. Down here. Oh, can I pop on the top of this one? Some kind of mushroom there. So that'd be quite nice. I've got space for some others here because I think I'll run them behind the skulls as well. Definitely stuff going on outside still. Okie dokes. I'm thinking hard, what's associated with Halloween? Tombstones. So perhaps I will have a tombstone on the top, and perhaps there's grave dirt in this one. Just puts a hint of something that might be writing on there. And just some grass. Okay, and some that'll be okay there. Okay. Something that has a very long, thin neck and perhaps is teardrop shaped. Will you see it teardrop shaped? Possibly. I'm just going to hide behind them because I think I'm going to need something that could have perhaps some blood in it. So let's have a look and just put a teardrop on the top. That'd be quite nice. And again, I'm going to, with this one, put the that in. So that'll be quite nice like that. Just put that in. Like that. And then this one here. Of course, this will help me get in the mood for drawing colouring templates because everything else I'm doing has been very finely detailed and so on. So This is a bit more, a bit less, a bit on a bigger scale. Okay. How many bottles have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like an odd number, but I have a feeling there might be some more sticking up here. That'd be right, I think. Put a label on this one as well, because labels are fun. They help to bring the design to life, or the bottle to life, I suppose. Make it a bit more realistic. Put the liquid in. Of course, this liquid can be anything you'd like it to be. Behind the label, just to confuse everyone. Well, not to confuse people. And then what's in this one? Oh, I do love a moon. So it could be moon dust or stardust. Moon dust. This one. There we go. Let's have a think. How can I fit something else in? Ew. Have a look, like this, and then let's have a wibbly wobbly one. Because I can. Very wibbly wobbly one. And yet I know. I could quite happily. Let's have a look. I want to get a star in here. So as I'm not very good at drawing stars necessarily without a guideline, just done one quickly. It's in pencils, so it'll disappear. And yeah, I don't always do things in pencil draw and sketch things out, do I? I'm well known for being just pen to paper and off I go. Perhaps there's some stardust or starlight in here. Perhaps just some magic ingredient for a spell of some kind or other. I don't know. Or some crazy alcoholic drink, of course. It's just a bit of a I'll do okay, I think. So there's a few bottles there, and that means that I can actually finish this corner off, because I will add behind the bottles. Let's just get that done, that'd be great. And I shall take this to here, because I'll add a starry sky or some such behind there. And there we are. So after about 3/4 of an hour work, I've got this far with this. It started off looking a bit strange, but I think it's beginning to look okay. It's going to take a while to be finished because I've got the whole sheet to do. But that middle bit, which is just typically my kind of arty stuff, is has formed quite a nice sort of like some kind of ground or shelf for other things to sit on and to grow out of. It's how I do this now, because I stop here and I think, oh, perhaps I should have started at the bottom and worked my way up. So it's going to be interesting to see how I deal with this. But it may be that I end up with arches and different things connecting it together, and just see how it goes, because like worlds within worlds perhaps. But I like those bottles. I definitely need, you know what I do want to do before I do anything else, she says, picking up her glasses and putting them on again, because this is what I do. Not that you can see, but yeah, I need my glasses. Is I am going to just pop an arch in here. Sometimes arches and so on just grow out to the tops. They have to grow out to the tops of mushrooms and the like, or at least have that possibility of disappearing into the ground behind the mushrooms here in this case. So that's beginning to give me that structure for different areas, and so I can do something here. I think here it was me going to stop, but I think what I'm going to do here is just give myself a bit of clouds, fumes, smoke from potions, cauldrons. Make of it what you will. But just nighttime clouds. But again, it gives me that separation from these tentacles, which I will also draw the border in, because I was going to draw the border so they reached out of it, but it's okay. And what I will do as well is I am going to pop a shorter tentacle in here, because I can, and it will fill that gap there. Was just bugging me, so now it's no longer bugging. Yeah, that's a bit better. And perhaps I'll just put a little one that curls around like that there. Because why not? That's great. Lots of tentacles, and I think I might need, I think I'm going to add one here as well. Perhaps curls up and fits in there. I think that'll be quite nice, especially if I can do something about the shape there. And doing what I've done before, which is make sure that these are staggered to help separate the individual tentacles for you, the colorist. That's anybody out here? There we go. Me and my quirky minds. And actually, I might be able to just bring that one round a bit, because that will work there as a line. It will. There. And then I'll have to work out how and what I do here. Chances are there's going to be some kind of seed or something here, because that's a favourite thing of mine. And then from there, I'm beginning to divide this up into sections. I'm so tempted to have a column of pumpkins here. Pumpkins and skulls. I do love a pumpkin, I do love a skull. That could be good fun. Perhaps a wibbly wobbly one, or one on a slant. Perhaps, or perhaps not, or part of it. To join areas together. I don't know yet. I've got to work this one out, but I've got to start got this area and this one and all of these over here to deal with, and I can definitely do that. You know, I've got spaces here where I can put another arch in and so on. And I may just, while I'm at it, when I think about it, because this will then have time to dry, is just fill these areas in with black, because it just helps I think it makes the various elements of the design less confusing. I'll do that there as well. Do I do this between the mushrooms? Do it around the skulls, because that really does help. I think the mushrooms are okay because they're pretty self-explanatory. See, I was going to stop, wasn't I? You know what it is. I'm going to be going outside of my comfort zone when it comes to drawing adorable dogs, and I'm putting it off because it's not something I've done, and I'm worried I'm not going to be able to do it well. Yeah, I doubt. I'll be fine. Be fine once I get a start on and sort of like some feedback that goes, yes, this is brilliant. No, not quite what we wanted, but you know, I don't have a lot that says not quite what we wanted. So there we are. A bit more done. Sort of like, what's it now? Oh, only 51 minutes. Nice long video for you. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing me start to draw this, and perhaps some of the thoughts that go on in my head, and some tales and what have you. I still haven't had my delivery, and it's now 9 o'clock, so goodness knows what's going on there. I don't know if the van's broken down or anything. Oh, dear. We'll see. I may have missed it while I was doing this, so I'll be going downstairs to check. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this. If you have, please consider subscribing to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and please take care of yourselves with whatever else you're doing for the rest of your day, or until we meet again. And please find time to be creative. I think it's good for each of us. That's what makes us human. So take care for now. Bye-bye. Bye.